Welcome, and thanks for joining me for Pathfinder Kingmaker. So we did it. We took down Irovetti. We're going to clean ourselves up here, pick up the mess. We've got some people to level up and figure out what we're going to do next. Let's start with getting some folks a level here. So we pick up an ability point here, which gets Kane's strength up to 30 with the plus 10 there on the modifier. Okay, I thought about taking a familiar for Kane here, but I think instead we're going to take Dispelling Attack. An opponent that's dealt a sneak attack damage. This ability is affected by a targeted Dispel magic affecting one of the spell effects active on the target. I think this could be nice to maybe help take care of some of the buffs any enemies might have on them when he's going at them. And that's it for him. Alvar here picks up a feat and Tower Shield Evasion. While using a Tower Shield, the Tower Shield Specialist gains Evasion as the rogue class ability if it makes a successful reflex saving throw against an attack that normally deals half damage on a successful save. He instead takes no damage. And we're going to give him a point in strength as well. And we'll take greater weapon specialization for the heavy pick. And he's done. And then Bruin here. He's going to get a point in wisdom. Nice. And some new spells. We'll take a look at his spell book. So we get another slot here. I think we'll just throw in another bless. Since it seems to be more useful here recently that we may need some more resurrective type spells, we're going to add a Breath of Life here, and I think we'll go ahead and throw in a Raise Dead. It does take diamonds. We'll have to see if we can find a better source for those. To this point, we have not really run into many diamonds, but maybe we can find some. Wow, okay, so at level 8, he can take this Legendary Proportions spell. You call upon the primordial power of ancient megafauna to boost the size of your target. Because of its connection to living creatures of the distant past, the spell does not function on outsiders, undead, and summoned creatures. Your target grows to legendary proportions, increasing in size by 2 categories. The creature's height doubles and its weight increases by a factor of 12. The target gains a +6 size bonus to strength score and a +4 size bonus to its constitution score, and +6 bonus to its natural armor and damage reduction. Is there more to that? Damage reduction 10. Melee and ranged weapons used by the creature deal more damage. That could be pretty sweet. It requires a dinosaur bone, which I don't know if we have any of those. Let's look. I don't even know where that would be. Maybe in this stuff? Do have 4 diamonds. We have 13 dinosaur bones. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna give that a try for sure. Okay, and then this is cool too. We're gonna grab Frightful Aspect for him. So the legendary proportions he can put on someone else, and then the Frightful Aspect is for himself, which basically does a similar effect to himself. +6 size bonus to strength, +4 to constitution, +6 natural armor bonus, damage reduction, spell resistance equal to 10 plus half your caster level. You also emit an aura that emanates 30 feet from you. Enemy creatures within the aura are shaken. Each time a creature shaken by this aura hits you with a melee attack, that creature becomes frightened for 1d4 rounds. But at the end of that duration, it is no longer affected by this aura. Typically, he's not getting hit by melee, but it does happen. And I think the other, just the shaken on enemies and those other bonuses could be just a nice little boost for him. I'm not sure. I guess maybe I need to just try it. The cure critical wounds mass would be nice. The description says you channel positive energy to cure 48 points of damage on each creature in the radius. I'm not sure if our selective channel ability means that this would only affect allies and not enemies. I think I'm just gonna grab it to try it and find out, because if that is the case, then that would be really nice. If we don't get the selective channel feature on that, I'm not sure it will be quite as useful. Oh, this holy aura would be nice too. There's some cool stuff here. Level 8. Almost wonder if this would be better than that frightful aspect for him. That gives everybody some AC and resistance. Protection from all mind affecting spells and effects. Yeah, I think, okay. Instead of the frightful aspect, this is going to be a better support spell. Cool. Okay. I just realized Leopard is dead. All right. Well, I know one thing we're going to need to do, I think, is try to grab Lindsay and see. We still have the deal with her book to kind of find out what people think about it. We did have to send her home, though, because we just were not able to manage the fights here with her in place of our regular bard. I guess we're going to do a little looting and finish up things here in this palace. I guess we get to take over this throne. The antique throne is soiled with greasy stains from spilled gravy. Nice, Irovetti. The slob. Untouched delicacies are getting cold on the table. Here's a pile of were-rats. Those things were pretty tough to fight through. Coming out of nowhere. We really could use somebody with a spell to let us see invisible creatures, because those were a real problem. I'm kind of guessing that if we head back out to the main square, we will have some action. So maybe we just head that way. But we've still got... We're not done with the were-rats here. All right, let's just take care of this. 2 of them? Okay. I guess that answers my... I was wondering if once we took care of Irovetti, if everything else here in the palace would disappear. Apparently that is not the case, and Anna's in trouble. So we're going to slow this down. They're just going to take her right down. Okay, Bruin. He doesn't get to try out any of those new things yet. We're going to need to rest before we can do that, but everybody's stunned here from the thunder call from Amaya. Okay, we'll see if Kane can clean up this last were-rat. Not quite. How about our wyvern? Nope.
Forwards!
Okay. I guess we're still kind of having to fight our way out of here. I'm disappointed that I didn't figure out the whole River Pirates quest. I guess we should have gone to confront Aymar about that before we came in here, because once we finished up with Irovetti, we just got a failure on that other quest. We'll pick all that stuff up here when we go outside. It's probably gonna overload us. Yeah. Okay, we'll leave and see if we'll either just drop some stuff here right outside the door, or maybe there's gonna be vendors here now that we can haggle with. We're walking very slowly. There's lots of sounds of a bustling marketplace. Probably really should have dropped all that stuff, because if we get in another fight here, we're going to be in trouble. Oh, Eobald's here. Your Highness, if you left the palace alive, you must be the new king of Pitax. As victor, you deserve a much more stately greeting, but I'm afraid we'll have to postpone the festivities. Your new subjects are in urgent need of help. You know how restless Lindsay is. She followed you all the way to Pitax, and now she and many others are in serious danger. There are riots in the city. A crowd has gathered around the Academy of Grand Arts, and they're out for blood. I beg you, you must interfere before it's too late. Okay, no rest for the wicked, I guess. Or weary. We're gonna have to unload some of this. We're way over our weight. Let's not drop that. Okay, we can now at least move at fairly normal speed. What do we have going on here now? I hope this is something we can take care of without a lot of trouble, because we're in pretty bad shape here. Are they really gonna throw us right into another huge fight? Seems doubtful, but what do I know? Who do we have on the ground here? A crowd of citizens, armed with whatever they could find, bludgeons, daggers, torches, murmurs indignantly. They're listening to Alandi. A man in expensive clothes lies at his feet, writhing in a puddle of blood as he presses his hand over a wound. You gather from the screaming crowd that this must be Nunzio Arpai, our Irovetti's master of ceremonies. Citizens of Pitax, for too long have we tolerated a tyrant as he trampled our city into the mud. Well, no longer must we fear telling the truth. You've all read the book by Eobald the Insightful. The only art taught at the Academy of Grand Arts was that of licking Irovetti's boots. We students were trained not as bards, but as jesters, like this man here. Alandi kicks Nunzio in the ribs, but he seems to have stopped moving entirely. Enough of this mockery. Our art is finally free. We'll build our own academy once we've burned this old travesty to the ground. Lindsay, wait, what are you doing? We didn't write the book for this. Alandi, have you no shame? Do I have to remind you why you were... Alandi interrupts Lindsay, raising elated screams from the crowd. Look, it's Lindsay, the hero who revealed the truth to all of Pitax. Hurrah, hurrah, glory to the heroes of the resistance. Down with Irovetti, burn the academy. What's going on? Look, it's our new king, the one who liberated us from Irovetti's oppression. Glory to his highness. Down with the tyrant. Hurrah. Look at them. They killed Nunzio, a funny old man who'd never heard a fly in his life. And now they want to burn down the academy. And it's all because of our book. Yeah, citizens of Pitax, Irovetti is dead. The tyrant is no more. If you think this is a time for riots, you are mistaken. Surrender the troublemaker to the guards and leave peacefully, or I will have to disperse you by force. Alandi goes pale and tries to escape, but he is swiftly captured and handed over to the guards. The remaining crowd quickly scatters. Lindsay looks abashed, tears in her eyes. This is my fault. This is all because of my book. This isn't what I wanted. We covered for Alandi, hoping to give him a chance to change. As a result, we made him a hero, handed him a knife and a torch. Nunzio's blood, it's on my hands. Professor Eobald said everyone deserves a second chance, but how many chances does someone have to throw away before we admit they're just an animal with no desire to change? This whole book was a terrible mistake. Sure, bards tell people stories, but what kinds of stories? Sweet tales to lull their conscience and promise that things will be all right, despite the facts? If that's a bard's calling, then I'd have been better off in my hometown growing turnips. At least some good would come of it. You must really think highly of your books. You think this attack wouldn't have happened without you? A bard's job is to entertain their audience. Don't take responsibility for someone else's deeds. Do you really think so? But they taught us. Damn it all, what does it matter what they taught us? If it ends like this, with stupidity and blood, then to hell with the bard's calling. The audience is made of idiots, and my calling is to entertain them. Thank you, seriously, thank you. You really brought me to my senses. I might have wandered a maze of pretty words and foggy ideals till I was old and gray. Let's go, I don't want to see Pitax or the Academy or any of these faces ever again. A nice chunk of XP there. Okay. That's probably going to resolve her quest then. And we're back to the square. Oh gods, I repeat platitudes about the power of words so often, but I never really knew what they meant. Only now, seeing the effects of the words I wrote with my own quill, do I start to realize their true meaning. I now understand the true calling of a bard, and the responsibility that places on my shoulders. I've made many mistakes, but Kane doesn't have to worry. In my magnum opus, the chronicle of his feats, I won't repeat them. Alright. Cool. We can check out Pitax now. I don't know. We dropped all that stuff. I think we can probably travel back to the academy maybe and pick that up. It brought us back here to the square. I was hoping maybe we'd have some vendors here. But it doesn't look like we've got anybody here ready to work with us. We picked up a ring here that we couldn't get earlier when Lindsay was with us. Ring of Law. Grants us wear +4 deflection bonus to AC and immunity to confusion and fear. Only lawful characters can equip it. We might be able to use that. We're going to have I'm going to need a big inventory session. So I think probably we're just going to head back to Tuskdale, I guess, and see what's happening there. And then I'm sure we'll be back here to Pitax then at some point.
Irovetti was dead.
Here we go.
Good riddance. Our ruler added the crown of Pitax to the crown of the stolen lands. But behind the dead monarch loomed the shadow of a much more dangerous foe.
Yeah, so who knows what's next now with Nyrissa. We're going to travel up here to Dyerburg, where then we can teleport back to Tuskdale. Okay, we took care of some inventory, sold a bunch of stuff. We're doing pretty well in the gold department right now. We're 554,000. So if we need to buy BP for anything, we're in good shape for that. We're going to stop in here and check in with the storyteller. We probably have some things to turn in, at least. Okay, and he doesn't have any new stories for us yet. So we're going to go to the kingdom table here and see where we're at with things now. Okay, triumph with this, and I'm assuming this will be the last time we have to deal with that. Our stats here are still not in great shape after all of that, but seem to be doing better. We really tanked some of these, and I guess it was just that Pitaxian influence, because yeah, we've gained back some of what we lost, but we're gonna have to get these up if we're gonna be able to rank them up. We picked up a bunch of new projects here for training for folks to bring them up to our level. We'll have to think about any of those we may want to do. I think we're probably getting close to the next Bald Hilltop event. So we'll have to keep that in mind as well. I think these region projects would be good to work on. This would be a big one to get Divine ranked up. I wish we could get a training project to strengthen Jod's ability, because he's really low here for any problems that come up. I actually might even look. I doubt, like, if Harim. Who else do we have that could do this? High Priest. Anyone? Harim could. I guess we can't see. I'd like to see if he would be any better. We've got some problems here, but Jod's at 0% on that. Really need to get him up if we can. I may just go ahead here and rank him up. That will help with that. 7 days, so we won't be ending a month or anything. It's kind of funny now. We could actually afford probably to buy the BP needed for this trade agreement with Sertova. I just don't know if there's enough of the game left now for it to make sense. 5 BP per week. +2 for each town and 1 for each village. So I don't know, maybe does that net maybe 15 to 20 a week? We're talking about a lot of weeks to make up for that 1,500 cost. Just not sure it's worth it. If we somehow could have done that at the beginning of the game, it would have been good, but let's see. Let's throw her in here. Get +1 to espionage every time she fails, which is fairly often. Start that up. Yeah, then let's go ahead and start up this rank up for Divine. Okay, Divine's rank 5. And Triumph with the Changelings. Very good. I finished the Arcane Mastery project. And we've got some new things here. Okay, the Pitaxian crowd awaits an audience. Time to decide the fate of Pitax. Revolution. Confusion and unrest reign over the city. In taverns, hotheads speak of revolution, the abolition of the monarchy, and the establishment of a republic. Pamphlets calling for rebellion have already appeared in the streets. Most likely, one of our neighboring states is behind this, hoping to seize these lands for themselves. Right now, however, it's more important to rein in our subjects before the unrest leads to open revolt. 5%. Ugh, we got to get some of these up. All right, let's go ahead and take care of the crowd from Pitax. Lindsay, there's a whole delegation from Pitax to see you. They're standing by the doors, scowling at each other. It looks like they're about to come to blows. Gasper Licenza greets you with a polite bow. Your Highness, the old families, founders of Pitax, are grateful to you for sparing us of the usurper's tyranny. Allow us to assure you in our loyalty. None of the trade houses seek the Pitaxian crown, which is rightfully yours, of course. If it would please you to appoint a governor to oversee the city, all the 4 families humbly recommend me for this position. Carne Viril stares at Gasper with dim, bloodshot eyes. Your Highness, of course, it wasn't always peaceful between us. The Thieves Guild used to fight against you a little, but that's all water under the bridge, right? Irovetti's rule has ended, and the guild, represented by me, promises you our support and a share of our profits. Speaking of profits, if you appoint me as governor, then your share will make you gasp. We can pick one of them or send our own. I think Gasper, we'll let you do it. Thank you for your trust. Allow me to pledge our allegiance once again, both mine and that of the old families. Carne grinds his teeth in anger. Is that so? Very well. So, we've decided on the governor. Would you like to say anything to the visitors, or are they free to go? There's a whole crowd of them waiting in the hall. Well, we could sentence him to death. Neither of these seem like an answer to her question. What's next on the agenda? You must decide the fate of the academy. Atalia Gitarin, Your Highness, I ask that you relieve me from my post as headmaster of the academy. After all that has happened, I am hardly worthy of keeping it. And Anamede Bellavara, the most famous bard in all of Pitax, gives you a charming smile. For the first time, I completely agree with my respected colleague. And if you don't have another candidate for the position, please allow me to offer my services. She's the one, Anamede is the one that was here, like, stirring up trouble for us. So, I don't think we are going to go with her. Natalia is the current head. I refuse to accept your resignation. The academy needs a headmaster and you are the best candidate. Natalia looks down and quietly replies, As you wish, Your Highness. Well, I can't say I'm surprised. Lady Gitarin is not only competent, but also extremely pliable, accommodating, and efficient. Let her serve you as diligently as she served Irovetti. Is that all? There is anyone else who can't wait to be seen? We can just execute all these people. Oh, we're not going to let him do that. Who else wants an audience? Urse Kalis, captain of the guard, comes to pledge allegiance to his king. Urse Kalis greets you with a reserved bow. Your Highness, according to the traditions set forth by the first kings of Pitax, I have come to pledge my allegiance to the city and its citizens, before you and the crown. I shall serve Pitax faithfully and loyally to my dying breath and guard the peace of its streets. Aren't you confused? Why are you pledging allegiance to the city and not to me? Because that's the order, as set by the first kings of Pitax. The city guard is always served as a counterbalance to the trade houses. Even whichever one presently holds the crown, we exist to guard the city's peace and prevent a bloody power struggle. That's why we answer not to the king, but to the people. Well, the city is now under new leadership. I will retire the city guard and create a new one, personally loyal to me. This is a rash decision, Your Highness. It may cause civil unrest. I didn't ask for your advice. Have a good day, former Captain Kalis. Pursing his lips, Ursay looks you right in the eye. I understand, Your Royal Highness. It appears that not much will change in the city, despite the change of ruler. Very well, I shall take my leave. Saluting you, Ursay Kalis leaves the throne room. Lindsay, well, we're done with the guards. Who else is left? No one else. Well, what a day. I see it's not easy to rule. I'd rather break up a pack of wyverns than live through another day like this. You shouldn't have disbanded the guard. Can you imagine what'll happen to the city without it? Oh, my poor old Pitax. Uh-oh. Kingdom... Where is it? If there's one pet peeve I have about this game, it's that these quests just go away too quickly after you complete them. I don't even know what the new thing there was. Maybe it was this one. Kingdom Strike Hills is thriving, and with it, its subjects. Of course, Kane won't be resting on his laurels, but so many unusual and important things are going on that I'm forced to take some time off this part of my manuscript. Alright, so as far as kingdom quests, still have available regions to add. After all of Irovetti's actions in Pitax's lands and our own, I'm almost ready to believe that taking over other lands is a noble cause, as long as it's done with a pure heart. I'm sure the subjects of Pitax and other lands will feel better under the governance of our ruler. We need to increase kingdom stats more times. And we got the next ancient curse in 82 days. Okay. And we need to upgrade 3 regions. Whew, man. Okay, I think we've taken care of those responsibilities. Pitax. We'll check in here at the kingdom table one more time and start anything else up that we can before we head on to other things. Yeah, I don't know if disbanding the guard was a really bad idea. Okay, good. We've got a project here now to strengthen Jod's skills. We definitely want to do that. Let's put him in there. I guess we'll put Valerie on this revolution problem. At 31%, even with a crisis point, that's going to have to be enough. We're still at 0% on this debate. We're just going to leave it empty. And then Contagious Madness. Keston on that, I guess. Again, it's only 31%. We might as well start up this Arcane Lobby. Cost reduction on buildings with Arcane bonus. We can do that. Same with border guards. Let's go ahead and throw Bartholomew on that one. And then buildings with an economy bonus, we'll throw Canera in there. And I just think these trade agreements at this point aren't worth it. I'm not going to worry about those. Okay, I think let's go ahead and do this Belly of the Stolen Lands. +1 community and loyalty for every brewery, granary, and windmill in this and all adjacent regions. This is in the Dunsword region. We'll go ahead and do that. It's 7 days. We can take care of this here while some other stuff is running. Wow, she was actually successful with that. Okay, good job there at 30%. Finished the Arcanimarium Sanctuary and the Loyal Spies project. So we have a band of arsonists on the loose in the city. We'll put Jaethal on that. We're going to leave it at 1 and 4. And Treasures of the Ancients. Wow. Okay, Storyteller is on that. We're leaving that 16%, unfortunately. I don't know what's coming that we're going to want crisis points for, so I'm going to have to start being stingy with those again. So we've got some people that want to talk to us in the throne room. Let's go do that. Jaethel, Gralton found out that we were involved in their spies' deaths. They only had themselves to blame, but they've twisted their anger toward us, grabbed our people, and thrown them in jail. They're looking to torture valuable information out of them, as if we would sit by and watch them succeed. These captives must die before they meet the executioner. They were valuable once, but now they're a dangerous liability. Of course, if you felt you had an obligation to these people, you could attempt to release them by force, but I dislike that option. Gralton might accept a ransom, but we'd be showing weakness. Let them be silenced forever. Their captives will find a peaceful death. Let Gralton consider this. We don't spare our own people, so we're not likely to show greater mercy to them. And Bartholomew. Your Highness, Razmoran is carrying out a malicious plot against us. After establishing trade, they saw to it that many of our servants would become addicted to Razmir's tears, a dangerous and powerful drug. The poor souls are now entirely under Razmir's power and are ready to sell our goods for nothing, only to please their new master. Razmir made a bold move, and a successful one. It's time we make our own. These corrupt drug lovers have betrayed your Highness for their narcotic. I hope they don't expect your Highness to give any thought to their treatment. The traitor's punishment must be severe, so their successors will never be tempted to follow in their footsteps. I suggest you sentence the addicts to death. Merely taking away their positions and belongings isn't a sufficient deterrent for betrayal. Okay. So we lose some economy no matter what. We either get loyalty, community, or stability. Alright. Hang the drug addicts. Appoint more reliable people to their positions. That is harsh. Excellent. The sight of the poison addicts on the gallows will make their successors think twice about the consequences of weakness. Well, that was more of a hit there than the text warned us of. That just said -5 economy. Oh, we lost a trade agreement. Oh wow, okay. I did not completely take all that in. We lost our trade agreement we had with Razmoran. Jeez, okay. That's 4 BP per week. Alright, Kane. Hope you're happy with that. Alright, that's going to be it. This will be a little bit shorter episode, I think, than the last one where we raided the palace in Pitax. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate it and hope to see you again here with me in the Stolen Lands. Bye-bye.